There we go.
Yeah,
So
so
go on.
this
Tell us
trend
about this
of
fad. Yes.
Instagram or Twitter or whatever, where people are working out. Typically, it's females working out, and you'll see a guy in the background drinking a water, and he'll like glance over,
Yes.
and then they just confront this guy and like, "You got to get out of
Mhm.
here. What do you think you're doing?" Really shame these people for creeping on them, and I
Yeah.
do think it's warranted at times. But man,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
most of these videos I see, it's like, man, I it's tough because I'm at the gym. I don't feel like I'm a creeper. I mean, I can appreciate somebody that looks good, you know. I mean, it's gonna catch your eye, I think, at times. But it's like, where do you look at a certain
I
point? I don't want to sit in the gym with my head
Have you
down,
been have you been
looking
on
at
a
my
video?
jorts. No,
Are
I
you trying to
haven't.
tell
Were
us
you bothered?
something?
No, no, no. But I just feel like it's this real slippery slope of like, what do you go to the gym and put blinders on? And I mean,
Well, I think
there's
Yeah.
the
nowhere you
one
can look.
I saw one that I know what you're talking about now. I've only seen a couple of them, but I saw one actually pretty recently where it was like a compilation of them.
Mm.
And you're kind of right. I mean, they all there's some that look a little. I mean, some that are kind of stalkerish or whatever,
Mm.
where they're like watching the whole time. And then there's a couple where the guy just like is walking by and glances, and all the gals wearing like I don't even like volleyball style shorts, like
Yeah.
halfway up the cheeks anyway. So that's
That's
not me
I'm
saying
wearing
she's
that too though.
asking for it. Yeah, I know.
Why
So is
don't they
Dave,
look at
right?
me?
If Dave's wearing that, I'll probably glance over too and be like, what the fuck? Like, what's this guy's deal?
Yeah, I mean, gonna be
You know?
honest, I've watched hundreds of your Facebook videos. 50% of them, there's somebody in the mirror looking at you.
Yeah. I
Right. I
mean,
mean, but they're admiring how much weight you're lifting, or they're impressed with it, or
yeah,
again,
yeah.
the
What you're
jorts,
wearing.
maybe
Yeah.
you're
How do you
drawing
know?
some
How do
It's the
you
attention.
know?
jorts.
It's the Jordan.
Right. Like, I mean, how ridiculous would that be for you to like put down 650 pounds and then turn around and be like, I'm sorry, but I'm here working out and I don't need you looking at me. Like, come
To a
I
on.
might
point,
I
you're
might have to
doing
do
it
that
for
just
the
for
look.
fun
Yeah.
one of these times. But
Yeah.
I feel very uncomfortable.
Yeah,
Yeah.
please.
But
This isn't the butcher shop. You don't need to
but
look at
like
my
you're saying
meat.
though, I mean, I get it to a point what you're saying too, because like I like I mentioned earlier, I seen a guy who was like truly just creeping on girls at the gym, like going up
Yeah.
to them on the treadmill, making them stop so he could
Totally uncool. Totally
talk to them
uncool.
about their shoes. A few of them have came to me and said that they would deadlift, they would turn on the platform and face out because the guy would be like just hanging out
Straight
in the
back
bench.
behind him.
Yeah, while they're deadlifting or doing sumo or squatting. It's like,
That's not
okay,
cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I mean that same guy I mentioned, he ended up getting arrested for just being a creep anyway. So, but
Yeah.
That's sweet. Was this
I
the same
remember.
guy that used to cable tie the bench? Remember that dude? Cable tie the bench
oh
and press up?
yeah,
That guy was
I
cool.
I think he's
Nobody
at
needed
the
to call the
Y.
cops on that guy.
I think he's at the Y now.
Oh, where they just have normal bench presses that don't help you out.
Yeah, he was not a fan of that at all. He
I like
oh
those things.
Yeah.
I forgot about
There was a guy down here at the Y. Gosh, this would be 12 years ago, but he would sit there and watch not just me, but I know when I was there, he'd be, I catch him like watching me as I was doing my sets and stuff like that. And he'd also be very forthcoming and coming up and asking me like what type of subs I take, what my programming is, how long I've been doing it. And
It's just a
it's
little man crush, man.
even
Just a
that's
little man
weird
crush.
though. And I knew, well, in working in our line of work, Jeremy, I mean, there was patients that I had who went to the Y and they knew who I was talking about, and we'd be, I don't know, just casually talking. He did that to a lot of people. And I think
Yeah.
he obviously had some type of social awkwardness, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know if there's any malicious intent behind it, but it was awkward as hell, especially
Yeah.
when you're in the middle of something and there's mirrors everywhere. You can pretty much
Can't
tell.
hear you.
Mhm.
I can't. I can't.
Yeah, and that's the thing that always annoyed me because when I'd be there, I'd have my headphones on, and he'd come up
Yeah.
to just talk to me, and I'm like, okay, give me a second, shut off my music now. Okay, go ahead, because I don't want to be a dink to anybody, but on the flip side of that, sometimes we're all just trying to focus on what we're there to accomplish, anyways.
yeah. And I get people that'll come up to me. I mean, the one thing with with the way I train is, I mean, when I'm doing those main lifts, I'm taking some long breaks in between those sets.
Yeah.
And and most people are smart enough that if they're going to come up and ask something, they'll
You
ask.
care
while I'm
if I
sitting
work
there.
in, bro?
Wait, yeah, sure. Just jump in there.
I'm just gonna unload some of these plates.
Yeah.
That would piss you off though, wouldn't it? Somebody comes in and they just start
Yeah.
like unloading your
Oh.
squat rack, and
I,
I'm just gonna work in for a second.
thankfully though, where I train, it's been very accommodating, and most people like literally like if it's a Wednesday or a Friday, they know I'm going to be on the platform or in the rack, and they'll like I mean, I'll just come in and I'll wait for them to finish, but someone be like, oh hey, you want this? I know you're training for something, so here you can just take it.
That's cool.
So
That's cool. It's cool to have that record. Now, have you ever been talked to about deadlifting too loudly?
no.
Never,
Isn't it
ever,
Planet
any,
Fitness?
anywhere.
No, if I went somewhere like Planet Fitness, probably I would assume,
Yeah.
but no, at courts they've never had any issues like that at all. Really.
I get all the
Staff-
bad luck. I got talked to about that twice down here. Two
Really?
different gyms.
Quick
Huh.
dropping
And
your
one was
weights,
one
Nick.
was on a deadlifting platform.
Oh,
It's
Weird.
just kind of
you
funny.
need to be a little bit more under
Yeah.
control.
Yeah.
It's like
People are
I-
staring.
You know,
Yeah. No, the only time, I mean, I'll get annoyed like when with Olympic lift, bro, and then dropping it from overhead, and it's just like, uh,
yeah,
It's
but that's safe. But I look at that though, and I've learned so much about it, and I'm like, that's the safer option. Now, the screaming, okay, that may or may not, right?
Yeah.
But if you've just got done,
No,
you've
that's
just done a
safer.
cleaner jerk, or
Screaming.
you just done a snatch, the safest thing to do is release from up high. Like,
yeah, it's
one
just,
release. I mean, you could damage your shoulders, you could damage your lower back, trying to bring it down to this slow
And-
fashion.
well, and I mean, and that's how they train. That's what they're taught how to do it. It's just when you're talking about loudness, it's like,
Yeah,
I mean, that's probably, but I mean, I don't come
that's the
across
loud.
too
You're
many
right.
Olympic-
That's louder.
But other than that, I mean, I've never came across too many screamers or anything like that. I mean, maybe at NDSU back in the day, Casey, there might have been a few people, but
That was me.
yeah.
All jacked up on cell tech.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was so high on
So-
hydroxy cut. What I was doing.
Lean and
Literally.
mean.
Just
I bla-
hummingbirds in the corner.
I
just
blacked out.
calf raising.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I mean,
speaking of-
Quartz was super. I mean, they even got more platforms pretty much almost on
Yeah.
request of you, right? And some heavier duty ones.
Yeah, they did, and I mean, then like even with like some of the specialty bars, deadlift bars, and stuff like that, they've been super cool about that kind of stuff.
Because
So.
when I first started there, I mean, they just had those wood ones that were like 2 basketball
Mhm.
courts. And then they got the
Yeah, yeah.
rubber ones with the metal on the outside so they wouldn't like burst
Mhm.
into pieces when you drop the weights.
Yeah, no, they've been super accommodating. I mean, we've been going there for what 2011 probably.
That's awesome. I haven't been there since about 2004, so
Okay.
it's interesting. I'd like to kind of get a day pass next time I'm up.
Yeah,
in the
no,
FM.
They still have a ninja gym there.
they do. They do have the ninja gym. so,
Nick, you could
yeah.
salmon ladder all the way to the top.
I'll lose 20 pounds and then I'll try the salmon ladder.
Kind of once. I thought I was going to dislocate both my arms. It
Yeah.
seemed impossible.
That is a different
Seemed
feeling.
impossible.
No, yeah.
It's cool. I did a variation of that on a couple like that. I did used to when I was a lot lighter and doing went through that light phase, endurance phase. I did like a couple mutters and then like a couple offshoot like 4-man mutters where they had apparatuses like that stuff you had to do, like hop across a disgusting lake of mud and slush and everything else.
Just made it gross. Yeah, I was definitely the like one side than the other kind of guy. That's how I had to get up there. Way less cool when you're watching. So
You're definitely that's not cool. That would be great if you saw somebody on
Doesn't
like
count.
Ninja Warrior, like
yeah.
somebody looks like us going out there and like, and then
That's all I
fall
had.
anyway.
Oh yeah. Blow everything in my body to pieces.
Oh,
So Dave, when
now
you're
Fujikawa.
training, when you're training too, I guess another question. This has been a year-long thing. Obviously, there's weight you have to maintain or hit to lift. Where does cardio fit in all this? I mean, obviously yeah, okay, that look tells me all. I mean, is there any of that stuff at all? You're looking at the
what?
whole year training.
You know, like when I'm doing some of the higher rep stuff,
I was gonna say,
accessories and stuff.
you
I
heard
mean,
him say
but
20 reps. What more
yeah,
do you need?
I don't know. I'm just
exactly.
curious.
But I mean, seriously, I mean, other than that though, I'm actually looking to add um a little more of that kind of stuff after the Arnold.
Mm.
Obviously with what with I've been training all year is basically eating, lifting, probably not the healthiest lifestyle, but
Yeah.
it's been productive for what I'm doing.
Yeah, it
So
gets the job
Yeah.
done.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, do you
So what do you?
feel there's some of that health stuff, as far as I would guess you would say this is more massive than you would like normally be in life.
Yeah, I mean, because I mean, I'm what 5'7", 5'8" on a good day.
Yeah.
Um, 244,
That's what I was gonna ask. You
which
walk it.
so
So you're walking at 244.
yeah. So I'll be lifting under 242. So just won't eat breakfast that day, weigh in.
Because I mean,
So
you obviously feel strong, right?
yeah, yeah.
But do you have like the other things like I said, cardio stuff where you feel like all this weight is a load on my body? I mean,
Mhm.
I would assume when you're all done with this powerlifting thing, you're gonna lose weight, do you think? I mean,
Oh yeah, I'll probably easily lose a good 20, 30 pounds
I
right
was gonna
off the
say if that's
bat.
been
Yeah.
yeah, if this has been your
Just
lifestyle the last year plus, and
yeah.
as you said, just lifting,
I
eating,
mean, and just the diet wise. I mean, where you're forced eating yourself, forced to eat, every 3 hours. I mean,
yeah,
when you get to some of those meals, and it's just like, oh my God, I'm eating again. But it's
yeah. You'll
just what
yeah, I could
let's
see
just
you
go with
totally
it.
dropping, like you said, 20, 30 pounds like nothing.
Yeah,
With
I
very
mean,
little added cardio or anything like that.
yeah, I mean, especially because I mean, the most I'm doing is, I mean, I'll walk for 10, 15 minutes on the track afterwards and stuff. But
okay.
you know,
Yeah,
but
you can
and then
only
with
eat so many tuna salad ice cream cones.
oh, you saw that.
Yeah, it's
What?
disgusting.
That's gonna be the 20-year reunion
Good a
dessert.
choice, yeah.
Yeah.
Couple scoops of tuna salad on a nice little what do they call those cones? A little saltwater cone or whatever.
Yeah,
Oh,
Ugh.
yeah, no, that came from one of my meals that I've done was tuna and oatmeal, and so a lot of
oh,
people I went to school with, well, I would post it for them because they just hated to see it because it was so disgusting. Because it's literally a bowl of oatmeal with a can of tuna, literally just mixed in there.
mm.
So
Now we're jumping ahead to the cheat meals.
well, that's not
Oh,
necessarily the cheat
yeah,
meals.
yeah, I don't know. That
That's
sounds
the
like a
that's
punishment meal.
that's the
Yeah,
poor. That's when you're poor and when you were working out of town meal.
yeah.
Yeah, you've ate some
Well,
gross
man,
stuff.
Oh yeah.
yeesh, that's just
Uh,
and that's just to like pack on the
just
muscles, huh?
yeah.
That
I
kind of
mean, carbs, protein.
protein synthesis, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, at your weight, how many calories, if you don't mind? I mean, do you have a goal you shoot for? Do you just look straight calorie? Do you do macros? I mean,
No, I
protein,
haven't
anything
been
like
doing any.
that?
My meals have been so consistent. I mean, and boring that I eat. I mean, over and over and over that I maintain the exact same weight. Like
Yeah,
it's
pretty dialed in.
yeah. If I was going over 250 and like, oh, I'm getting away from my weight class, I would definitely be like, okay, we got to change some things up. But
Dial it in, yeah.
yeah, but I mean, like other years where I've competed at 198, those are times where yeah, we were really counting and watching what we ate and did. But whereas this, it's a little more enjoyable.
Now back in those, that's got me interested. So back in those days, how did you approach those weight cuts? Like specifically as you approach the contest and
Um,
yeah, get right down
I
there.
would I would get down like say if I was doing a 198 comp, I would do I'd be around in the ballpark of like 210 and I would do a water cut.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean I would be doing the water load, everything else, and then I would be doing the sauna suit and getting everything out and
Because you had
just
a,
be
did you have a sauna suit
oh
story for
yeah.
the on the airplane? Yeah.
Yeah, it
Remember
was
that, yeah.
pretty miserable, but
Yeesh. Gosh.
never again.
Good choice. And then that's got now, do you have to weigh in? Is it 24 hours ahead of the comp?
Yep. Yep, 24 hours.
So at least you have some time to
Yeah.
rehydrate.
Yeah, and even when I would do cuts and stuff, I would do IVs afterwards and get all fluid back up and get back to eating. So
You're like the pro, man. Because supposedly that's an interesting
Yeah.
thing. I never even heard about the IVs until
I don't
like,
invite amateurs on, Nick Doling. This is a
yeah.
professional
Come
show.
on.
But I mean everything like dialed in because I didn't even hear about the IVs. And it coming from a wrestling background, obviously weight cutting is pretty standard,
Mhm.
pretty normalized. And I never even was familiar with the IVs until probably 7 or 8 years ago. The UFC
Okay.
banned them.
Yeah.
I still don't know how they can ban them. I mean, unless somebody
Yeah, I don't
reports,
either
right? They
really.
go back to that because a lot of times it's turned out the guys go back to like their
I mean,
hotel room.
unless they're putting certain stuff in them, because I know like in Vegas, I mean, they would make a little cocktail and put any and everything you want in that thing.
Sure. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Because those
but
guys
like,
were routinely like they'd be competing 17, 22 pounds above what they weighed in at. Like
oh yeah,
they,
yeah. Because I mean, for me,
Oof.
it was usually a good anywhere between 15 to 20 pounds. So
Hmm.
I'd be in the 198 class, but I'd be lifting day of 218, 220.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
because like I'll do typically even with no cut, still do an IV bag just
Really? To get
just to
those
be on top of
electrolytes back
everything.
in you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was going to ask,
So
how do you feel then? Like by the time you're competing after a weight cut like that, 24
mhm.
hours have passed, you're rehydrated. Like, take us through your kind of mental,
um
physical
I
feeling.
noticed when I was younger, like when I did nationals, I did a big cut to 198. I went from like 238 down to 198. I did it over I think a 4 month span.
Okay.
So I mean, I slowly walked it down, and then we did it, the water cut and stuff. But um, for that one, I felt really good. I recovered really fast from the water cut to the day of lifting. But then fast forward a couple years ago, I was in Vegas for nationals again, and I did the same thing. It wasn't as much of a drastic cut. I think it was maybe 12 pounds. And I could not recover from it. I did IV bags, I was
Mhm.
Pedialyte, I was drinking everything. And the day of, I mean, I was still pissing just dark yellow. It was not
Yeah.
coming down.
Yeah.
So I mean, that competition, I lifted like shit,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I felt like it too. It was just, but
What do you
it's one of
think
those
the
things where it's
difference
your
was
body.
when you look back? Yeah. What do
You
you
could
think the
say
difference
that.
was?
Yeah.
With that one, I mean, really, I mean, I did everything I normally do. I mean, it was just my body wasn't having it,
Wow.
and
Interesting.
yeah, and I mean, getting older, the more and stuff you do it, it's just one of those things where,
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, I
And do you
noticed the
feel
older
like
I've gotten
maybe
too, it's
going in, you were already a little overtrained?
that
You
too,
know?
yeah, on top of everything, it was just,
Yeah.
um, I was really disappointed with that competition. Like, I mean, I got second at nationals. The lifts I hit were stuff I could have hit not even training. Like, I was just super, super disappointed. Um, but then I really redeemed myself because my next competition was the Arnold after that. So it was,
gotcha. Yeah.
and there was that was when I was like, all right, we're done cutting weight. We're gonna go in nice, healthy, heavy, and throw stuff
Yeah.
around. So,
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah. I mean, that's life, right? You're learning, we're
oh
constantly
yeah,
going through like trial and error and
mm,
processing and learning how to get better. And then the older we get, we find out how nuanced, like you're saying, everything can be, right? Especially in your line
mm,
of work where you're trying to dial it in, be very precise on a specific day on what you need to weigh.
yeah,
The body can be fickle down to like,
mm,
what was I eating leading up to that that maybe was retaining more fluid, making the cut harder to do, right?
yeah,
Um, and or maybe what was I not eating that once I went and rehydrated, it wasn't flushing through my body as well,
mm,
right? And
yeah,
it's just so
and
interesting.
and
Yeah.
like with the last one in Vegas too. On top of it, I don't know. I didn't get tested, but um, I might have caught COVID too on top of it all. So it was just one of those things because I remember like afterwards that night we went out to eat and my wife is talking to me and I'm just like looking at it and it's just not processing what she's saying, like that fog, brain fog kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. And you can smell her.
And yeah, and just like I'm sitting here like, Like, I know she's saying something, but I'm like, I can't process what you're talking about. Like, it was bad. And to the point
Yeah.
where I'm like, so I may or may not have had COVID on top of cutting all that too. So who knows?
Well,
Yeah.
we won't
Tough
report
combo.
you.
So
Yeah.
Big brother's listening though.
Statute of limitations.
Somebody
is
knows
over.
now. Somebody's gonna contact trace it back.
Yeah. Oh,
how dare he?
God.
Yeah. So when all this is over, you got 4 weeks, a little under. Then what? I mean, there's still you still do some bodybuilding hosting shows kind of stuff, right? I mean, that's
Well, me and my wife will still be doing the local competitions. Like, we'll be putting them on.
Mhm.
Like we got one in Dickinson that we're doing here. It's a 3-day competition in April. Then the summer we got one in South Dakota, and then the fall we do one in Fargo. So we'll
Hey,
still be putting those on.
we're in South Dakota.
Aberdeen.
Okay. All right.
Ooh.
see if I can do
The
some
hub city.
see if I
We
can do
should
some
really-
judging down there.
You keep me posted, Big Dave. I want to try to make it to one of these things. Check
Okay.
it out.
Mhm.
Well, did you guys have some drama recently in one of these?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I thought I saw that. Yeah. Please share.
Yeah, the federation that we were with, well, we're still under them for another month or two, but the USPA national office just got huge just scandal of not handling complaints, and some stuff that was some of the complaints dealt with sexual harassment and like keeping employees people on that were like repeat offender kind of stuff. And the thing is the national office is literally run by old powerlifters. These
Yeah.
guys aren't HR specialists. Like, they shouldn't have been handling these complaints in the first place. They should have
Yeah.
maybe hired someone to do this kind of
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
qualified.
Takes a
And
special person to do HR, 100%.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's where the ball was dropped big time. And like, sponsors pulled out, lifters were like, no, we don't want to be associated. And they dug themselves a hole and just kept digging it and digging it. And we got to the point where I'm like, all right, we're out. So we're in the middle of switching federations and stuff like that too. So
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, I saw somebody on Facebook must have tagged you in a video. He was a power lifter, just talking about all the cool stuff you guys have done and how it's grown so much from Fargo South High School with a couple kids to what 2-day meets now. So
we actually, we got a 3-day one coming up. So Marshall Johnson, who he pretty well known lifter, actually from Fargo here, who really big into like the multiply equipped lifting community. I know he was with
the toilet paper.
He was with
important.
Animal sponsored him. Like, he lifted in the animal cage and stuff like that. So yeah, he was, for equipped lifters, like he's up there. Like, he's one of the main people. So
very cool.
So it was really cool to have like his support, and he's seen how much we've made the community grow and the sport grow with just in the region. So
yeah, and I thought it was cool he kind of went to bat with you with like, there's been like one complaint ever, and he puts together a 20-page report on everything that was done. And that's just cool to hear. I mean, you gotta, if you don't know you, I mean, his video definitely showed the passion you have for not just your own lifting, but the community. I mean, you could sit in Quartz Plus and lift by yourself and go to the Arnold and put up numbers and go home, but like, I just think it's cool how much you seem to care, and
that's the thing is it's like, it's really weird is people don't know the background of it. Is like, I never planned to put on competitions ever. Like,
this wasn't like a money-making scheme.
It was like, hey, let's do this.
Let's make money.
What happened was they reached out to us and they were like, well, would you be interested in being the chair for North Dakota? And I'm like, okay, I guess, I compete in the federation and stuff. And then it went on to, it's like, well, it'd be nice to do more competitions, because like, when they would come up to North Dakota, they would be in like Williston or in like Kalispell, Montana for meets that would be close. It's like, well, why aren't you doing them in Fargo? I'm like, that just makes sense. And once we brought it to Fargo, it just blew up. Like, I mean, and it's a sport that people could get involved in really quick because squat, bench, deadlift. You can do it anywhere.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very cool. Yeah, it's cool to see it grow, and
Oh yeah.
I don't know, something to continue. That
Casey,
was
when are
good.
you when's your first competition, Casey?
Yeah, Casey.
Retired a long time ago,
Yeah.
guys. Historically, I taught Dave everything he knew, so I feel like all David's success is my success. So,
But did you teach him
Yeah.
everything you know?
well, you got to keep a little in the back pocket.
Yeah,
Oh,
come on,
oh.
our retirement, come on.
Doesn't look like a lot of room in them jorts, but there's a little bit back there for myself.
Jeez.
Oh my gosh! Well,
Yeah, yeah.
No, but I mean, Dave, I would say you are inspiring. I mean, it's very cool to
yeah, good
see what
segue
you've
there.
done. I mean, you
I think we need an HR supervisor for the pod now.
Yeah.
Some of these comments.
I believe I am
You
HR.
haven't handled it the
Sorry,
best.
guys. I never told you that, but
Not enough room in those jorts.
the backside.
Oh.
Front side.
Oh, either
Yeah.
side, either. Right now.
It always deteriorates. It's gone.
Yeah.
It's
At
gone
some
off
point.
the rails.
So, in closing, just moving on. Any shout outs, any sponsors you wanna lift up here?
Well, we
Casey
got the
get
man
you some
right
big
here.
stone? Yeah, did you get some
Yeah.
big stones up, some diamonds
Yeah.
on that booty?
Yeah, a little Big Stone.
Right on the right
sponsored
across
athlete.
the shorts.
So
Yeah.
Big Stone
Am I,
Therapies.
am I the first?
Yeah.
First power,
nationally
as far as I'm aware,
sponsored athlete? Yeah.
first power lifter I've ever known.
Yeah.
There,
I mean,
there
that's
we
very
go.
cool.
We sponsored a bull rider one time,
Okay.
rodeo guy. If you ever pay attention, they got like this stuff slapped all over their vests and stuff like that.
Ooh.
Yeah, very cool.
That's cool. But yeah, first power lifter, I love it. I think it's freaking cool.
So what do we got to do to get you guys to come to the Arnold
Jeremy's just gonna ride
Guys.
down there.
Fly out to Grand Rapids, and it's a quick 5.5 hour drive.
That is kind of quick.
It's
That's
quick.
not, could be worse.
Yeah.
It's like driving to Medora. Yeah.
Driving to Medora.
Like the
For the
scale.
musical.
Yeah.
Custer's Last Stand. No, I love it's smack dab in the middle of wrestling season for us here.
Mm.
So that's always
Yeah.
tough. That's always going to be tough. And I
Yeah.
think every single year, even barring 2021, I think, but it's the same. It's always the same exact weekend as our state wrestling tournament in Minnesota.
Okay.
So that makes it challenging.
Yeah. No.
That would be
Our
fun.
youngest is
Seems
in
okay.
wrestling here, so it's the same deal.
And which school? Where do you guys go?
He's in the club right now.
Yeah.
So
Gotcha.
tech team.
Mm-hmm.
Does he get into the
Very
lifting at
cool.
all? I know he's young. But
Yeah, I brought him with a few times.
thinks
You
it's
know,
boring as hell.
slowly getting him into it. He wants to do.
You're not that
Everything.
strong, Dad.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
Well,
I love the story you tell about your son always asking, like, hey, can you bench more than John Cena? You like Google it. It's like, yeah, John Cena can do like 350. I got him. Like, hey, can you squat more than The Rock? Let me Google it. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah,
That's cool.
that was a big thing. Like he was telling his friends in school, like my dad's stronger than The Rock, John Cena, and there was some other one too. I don't remember who. It was.
That's really cool. That's
But,
awesome.
yeah,
Because
I
I
looked him
think,
up.
I
And
think
they go,
Cena,
no, he's not. And then they see you, they're like, oh.
well, it's funny how cool, like, I mean, I think Cena's got like a 660 dad, right?
Yeah.
I think I've seen the video of that. And I mean, he's no weakling, not just juiced up
Mm-hmm.
wrestling
Comedic
guy.
genius.
Mm-hmm.
Comedic genius, dude.
But it must be cool though, because you do see these videos
Yeah,
of football
really cool.
players squatting or benching or these people putting up weight, and everybody's like, "Oh my god, he's so strong," and you're like, "That's like my starter." Like,
I know.
That's awesome. That's really cool for you to be
Cool
in that
feeling,
position, you know, because like, yeah, Mike, it's something with, I think that means, in my opinion, I think you're being a good role model for your kids. It means they're seeing you live that life and they're going to ask that question, right? Like my kids, that's such a neat thing. And I answer it usually the other way when my kids are like, are you as strong as John Cena? I'm like, and we'll watch some of these videos. Like it's so funny how similar that is. But I like to look at it. I'm like, okay, at some level, these kids are getting on the right path, and they're learning. Hey, there's some value in taking care of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
There's some value in lifting some heavy things, pushing yourself to just improve in some way. And by even asking those questions, it's kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's
100%.
awesome to hear.
Yeah, very cool.
Well, it's almost as cool as when you get big and fat eating that awesome cheat meal.
Yeah, that's the
As a
life I'm
re-
teaching my kids.
as a reward. Or as Casey and I said leading into this. So Dave, this was your topic, right? You kind of thought this would be a
Yeah,
fun
we
one,
we,
right?
we tossed around a couple. I remember going back
Post
and forth.
workout, and
Mm-hmm.
And
that was
I think
less
it's a fun
exciting.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it'll probably lead to some fun stories. As Casey and I said, this is more just the life we live. I wish I ate cleaner.
Every day is a cheat meal.
But yeah, who feels confident going? Our top five to all those listeners. Our personally favorite, most epic cheat meals that we've ever actually consumed ourselves. So, anybody got a hot number 5?
Yeah, I don't know if I have like anything groundbreaking, but I'll gladly go first. I mean, most of these meals, my number 5 is pretty weak, so I'd like to get it out of the way.
Mine is too.
Yeah, but it is one of those things where, like, especially now that I'm a older dad, I really feel guilty every time I have this, and it doesn't happen very often anymore. But every once in a while, I've always said I'm more like a savory guy. Like I'd rather have a steak than a piece of pie. But my number 5 is sweet, and it is Cold Stone Creamery birthday cake remix. Gotta have it size. That bad boy. If I need something that tickle my sweet tooth, this is my cheater on that one. 1,200 calories in that little cup, and it's delicious. I
You
almost
could have just
never...
got the Synth the Six version of it.
was...
Birthday cake remix.
Same
Yeah, it's all carbs, a little bit of dairy, I suppose, but it is a guilty meal for me. It is. There's nothing redeeming about it. It's just all crap in my body. But every once in a while, I need it. Probably got used to that when my wife was pregnant with my son. Boy, it was like $9.50 every night. You get me Cold Stone, honey. It closes at 10. Like,
Did you know they deliver now?
I'm going.
Yeah, and then I would go. And then I'd be there getting her ice cream, and I'm like, well, might as well get something for myself.
When in Rome.
Yeah, right. It was never the gotta have it size. It was like I don't know, I'm okay with it size, whatever they call that. Like it, love it, like it.
Love it.
The smallest size, but
Like it.
now that I'm addicted to it, that's my cheater. Gotta have it. Birthday cake
Gotta have
remix, Cold Stone Creamery. Number 5.
Cool. Gotta have it. Gotta have it.
Well named.
Well, I can go next. My number 5, I don't have the exact date on here because it spans back 21 years now.
Ooh.
But it was a pretty epic attack of the Worthington KFC buffet. Following what was one of my final weigh-ins. It was the one we hosted the national qualifying regional tournament. So we hosted it there, and I had 2 weeks then after that to make weight again. So that's like an eternity in wrestling terms. So me and some guys went to, after the tournament was all said and done, we went and just bashed that buffet. Lots and lots of fried chicken, barbecue chicken, and all the fixins. And I gained 8 pounds that day. We all kind of like went back and we went and weighed ourselves on the scale.
It's a lot of mashed potato.
I remember it was 8 pounds from what I weighed in earlier that day. Now there was obviously fluid before that and everything, but I was very bloated. But yeah, that one sticks out in my mind. That's my number 5, 21 years ago, the KFC buffet.
Oh, the KFC buffet is a good one though.
They're disappearing. They're disappearing fast.
I don't think
in general.
There's one left in West Fargo, I think.
Yeah,
is
that one's still open.
Yeah.
Yeah, I eat everything.
Damn
I
you,
eat
COVID.
the corn, and the barbecue chicken, the fried chicken.
That's too healthy.
biscuits,
Corn out of the window.
Biscuits.
Biscuits are good.
Mm.
and then they would throw out those chicken fried steaks sometimes.
Oh,
That's
they
a
did.
win when
I
that
don't know if I
happened.
got that, but that sounds
Oh, yeah.
delicious. I love chicken fried steak.
Everything fried.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's a
Me and
great
me and
choice,
Casey have hit up some buffets in the day.
We
I
were
got-
what we would call
this ain't the
connoisseurs.
last. This ain't the last buffet.
Yeah. We were not healthy.
All right. Who would like to go next on their number 5?
I can
Go.
go.
Go for it. Go for it.
I'll go for it. For number 5, I went with Five Guys.
Ooh, okay. All right.
Getting into it. Triple bacon cheeseburger. Three
like that.
patties. Yeah. So, pretty simple: ketchup, mustard, mayo,
Yeah.
and a whole bag of fries that they give you.
I was just gonna say, you going
Those fries are
with that?
good. Yeah,
Oh,
those
yeah.
fries. You have to get the fries there.
It doesn't matter what size you order; they fill that whole bag.
Yeah. That's a lot of burger. Like the first time I ever went to Five Guys, I didn't realize that like their normal burger was a double.
There's a double. Yeah.
I was like, I'll take a burger. I'm not that hungry. They slapped that sucker on the plate. I was like, oh my God. Should have went with that. I've never said this in my life, but I should have went with the junior. Like,
They are delicious.
full, very
But they are
soft.
they're spendy though.
Yeah, I was gonna say you must be making some money off of hosting those competitions and like
That's the FedEx
two
money
burgers,
talking.
two burgers and fries. You're probably at $100 over there.
Yeah. It's spendy.
I'll go next. This
I would
is
hope so, Jeremy.
You have to go next.
Super
well,
awkward
does
if
somebody
you
want to
did.
do number 4 first?
Saving them all up. Okay.
No, this is the only buffet on my list. I cannot tie it to a single event. Believe it or not, guys, like I have not had a buffet since I moved out to Michigan. 5 years. I have
No
not eaten at a
buffets.
buffet.
Man, I thought Michigan was like the home of just slop eating.
No, I think it's the Dakotas and Minnesota.
Okay.
I like honestly, like buffets are a big deal for us, right?
Mhm.
So I just went with Pizza Ranch, man. That was like the last buffet I ate at.
Mhm.
Mashed
Is that your
potatoes, fried
story?
chicken. You gotta like you always go there, you always gotta order your own pizza. That way it's fresh, right?
That's a good call. Yeah. People
That's a
don't
pro
do that
tip.
enough.
Order your own and then they
Gotcha.
bring it out to you and you get to choose everything off of it.
That's buffalo
So,
chicken, right? Just tell them
Buffalo chicken and chicken bacon ranch. Yeah.
I go
Yeah.
chicken
There's-
broccoli Alfredo as well.
They
That's
started
excellent
making a
as well.
stuffed crust that is.
What?
What?
Yeah.
Oh, stop the presses. Stop the
We
recording.
order that. It's the only place that'll deliver to us in the south end of town now.
Dang, a stuffed crust, huh? Not
So-
pop back in.
But do you have a particular one that like sticks out? Anytime you had to get rolled out of the old?
Usually every time. I mean, like I was telling a patient this the other day. We were talking about this a little bit, and I said like there's this like special self-loathing that happens after a buffet. Like
Yeah.
we're just like, what did I just do? And, like because
You got your money's worth. That's what you
yeah,
got.
for sure.
Yeah, I was
yep.
always
And-
satisfied. Self high five. Way to go.
And they were talking. She goes, "Well, yeah, but like, it's fine if you're working out." And I'm like, "Yeah, but the problem is when I used to eat like this, those habits over the last 20 years, 30 years are now ingrained, right? And now I don't play basketball 3 hours every day, so there's a little bit of a calorie deficit there." So
Yeah.
I'm like, I have to be much more intentional with my eating now, because otherwise I'll look back and it's just like I blacked out. What did I just do? That was bad. That was bad.
Jorts ain't gonna fit. You keep eating like
No.
You made such an awesome point though, Jeremy, because maybe it's some of it just where we're at in age too, or what we're doing lifestyle wise. Because I can't remember the last buffet I ate at, like
Yeah.
the most recent one. It
Yeah.
would probably be the Pizza Ranch, but it's pretty nondescript, and I probably control myself
Yeah.
a lot more than I used to. Yeah.
But the whole point of a buffet to me is not to control yourself, right?
Well,
Like,
right, but then you get to
otherwise you're gonna just
I don't
order an
know.
entree. Like, why wouldn't you just order a
I need
meal?
to. I definitely need to earn it before I just
Go
you
ahead.
know, get to that point. Yeah.
maybe we'll get to this on the list. You ever eat enough at a buffet to vomit?
It's my very next one. Honestly,
I can't wait.
it's,
Okay.
it's like you're in my head again,
Yeah.
like that one.
Spoiler alert.
I've also been there.
Ooh.
All right, Case, that take us away.
My
Is
number
that where you're
4.
going next?
No, that isn't where I'm going next. Just
This
because
is
I feel
peaky.
like the eating until I vomit was mostly because I was just out of shape and hungover. But I save these meals more specifically towards when I was actually healthy and working out as a reward.
Okay.
So my number 4 was definitely more college lifting, just kind of getting into running. It was my reward when I killed it for a week. There was like a specific, maybe like 3 times a year this would happen, mostly because the restaurant only did this a few times a year. But it was the Red Lobster Unlimited Shrimp. Like when that special was going on, I was like, I'm killing it this week.
Mm-hmm.
I can go hammer Red Lobster at some point. Like it was probably the only thing I could ever afford at Red Lobster in college.
And you
'cause it
could
was
mix it
pretty
up too, right?
reasonable. Yeah,
Was it-
there was like 6-7 different shrimps you could choose. And
Yeah.
you could flip flop.
A little coconut.
You want scampi, you want coconut, you want Walt's. I don't even know who Walt is, but his shrimp is delicious. I wish they had his story in the menu because I've eaten his food a lot.
This is lazy writing.
Yeah, you got the pasta, the shrimp pasta, so you could add that to it, and then the butter biscuits. I mean, you fill your pockets with those things. I mean, that was a nice buffer. And then you had a salad, so you felt like you were healthy, right? Like a little Caesar salad to start.
Yeah. Cheddar
Whet your
Bay
appetite.
biscuit, man.
Yeah, man. Those that's my number 4, Red Lobster Unlimited Shrimp. I've killed a lot of shrimp. I was like
It's
a
an
whale.
interesting take because that would be the only way I'd get full. I'm notoriously like underwhelmed at Red Lobster. Like I feel because everything you order is like partitioned out. You never get enough.
Hey, you got to go unlimited.
You got to load up on the biscuits. Yeah, you'd have to go
Unlimited and
unlimited.
biscuits.
I see how you'd get there though. Very good point.
Mhm.
Yeah, well, mine's a little bit more on the nose, and this is the moment I vomited. I'll get to that in a second. It was a very small note. It was so I remember when I first started learning about like cheat meals and how cool that was. I was like in college and undergrad, and I was living in Fargo. So Dave and Casey might recognize this place as I get there. And Michelle and I have always had an affinity for Chinese food since we met. One of the things that's kind of brought us together. And going through buffets and like she wasn't as familiar, so I'd be like, hit this up, hit that up, and she trusted me and fell in love with me. And
This man knows his Chinese food.
so where I went, if I felt like I'd particularly earned it throughout a given week, this would have been like more my going to the old sports center days. I would on a Friday evening afternoon try to go to the King House buffet.
Yeah.
Downtown.
So good.
Yep. And beautiful ambiance too, by the way. Little koi
Oh, the little
pond,
pond.
everything. Yeah, you gotta walk over. But the butter shrimp there was absolutely outstanding. The generals obviously goes without saying. Everything I love it.
Ugh,
Nice.
those Chinese
sesame
they
donuts.
dominated.
Chinese donuts.
There was a
Melt in your
moment
mouth.
at some point. So we're leaving there, we're driving down Broadway. And I know the weather was warmer because I was able to roll down the window, have the window down. And it was one of those moments where I burped and puked up. I'd eaten so much food, and I just like turned and hawked it like I was hawking a loogie out my window. And I'm like, okay, maybe I overate there. But there was also that was my favorite one. But there was also another place. It was closer to Michelle's old apartment down there, where it used to be on 32nd Avenue South. Obviously these things don't exist anymore. There used to be like a video store across from there.
That one's
Right by Hornbachers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
it's
one's changed
back.
names a few times.
It's
Yeah,
back now, baby. It closed. It became a Vietnamese place. They had the best pho in town. And now they're back to a buffet again.
Yeah.
Oh, that buffet! I notoriously wore my sweats like every time I go there.
Oh, good.
They had the hibachi.
Yeah, they did. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
that place might have even been truly better. Like the ambiance was a nice King House, and the quality wasn't quite as nice. But the fact they had the hibachi, you're right.
Yeah, they did a
That was
little
always a nice little
sushi
mix
there
them up.
too, right?
We'll mix them up.
Yeah.
So that's my number 4. King
choice.
House buffet up in
Shortlister for
downtown
me.
Fargo.
What I liked about King House, and there's only a handful in Fargo Moorhead, they had milk as a drink option.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
That is a way to get yourself vomiting.
I was gonna say, why are you wasting your calories? I just go with Diet Coke. You have more
You
room
know
for
how
everything.
expensive milk is?
Going lean.
You're gonna wanna the milk, I think, weighed everything down in your stomach and compressed it. It gave you more space. You don't want a fizzy drink in there. You don't want a fizzy drink in there, bubbling up and taking up airspace.
Kobayashi doesn't dip hot dogs in milk for a reason, man.
Well, he's doing it in Diet Coke.
No, water.
Water.
Yeah,
They do water.
Well, that's gross. I'm not gonna pay
The
money
bun.
to drink water, especially King House water.
Oh. Oh.
Does the King is that place still does it still exist up there?
No, they
Bell
got shut
Bank,
down. The pigeon scandal.
yeah, the pigeon scandal really knocked them
So
out.
I was eating a lot of pigeon, you're saying?
Well, they found what 70 pigeons in the basement in cages.
Yeah, yeah. The teriyaki that was on the stick was actually the pigeon. So,
Yeah,
Ooh,
the
that was one of my
owner
favorite
the
things.
owner claimed they were like a Mike Tyson pigeon-esque pet dabbler, but
yeah.
yeah,
Oh
I
my
don't. It's
gosh.
hard to believe. Hard to believe.
Little
Oh.
sesame sauce. Yeah, it's fine.
That stuff was so good. I love skewers.
I mean,
All
his
right, Dave.
but the Chinese place in Devil's Lake
Dave,
got
what's
in
with your
trouble
number
for
4?
doing that.
Hoonans.
True story.
I remember Hoonans. Yeah.
Yeah, they did
In
those little
Marshall.
seagull birds. They caught them
Yeah,
and breaded them
just
up.
the parking lot would be full, and then it'd be
Yeah,
empty.
they just capture them and cook them up.
Little cages.
It's a true story. Anyways, yeah, what do you got, Dave? Number 4.
Oh, it's me.
We're
All this
still
buffet
talking
talk.
pigeons.
Yeah, better not be
Oh.
Hoonans.
No, it's not Hoonans. But King House does make an appearance, but it's not number 4.
Ooh, a teaser.
Number 4 would be mangoes.
Where's May? Okay, go on. Where's this at?
Main Avenue in Fargo. It used to be a Kroll's at one
Kroll's.
point. Yep, because it was next to the Stay Mart there.
Yeah.
But oh, dude, they got it's the super burrito, and it comes in this big ass pan, and it's like just huge. I mean, it's got to be at least like 2,500 calories. I mean, it's filling
Smothered, covered.
and delicious. Yeah. So when we got lifters and stuff that come into town that want to eat something, different, I'm like, there you go. Go get the super burrito.
Super
Man.
burritos, man. Thank you.
Mhm.
So again, quick story about super burritos. My friend Ryan, who's been on here, he showed me the way at Qdoba to order a double burrito there. I didn't know you could do such a thing.
I didn't either.
Yeah.
And then
This is a life
polished-
hack. You're just
They basically
now sharing.
overlap. Yeah, life hack. They overlap the 2 tortillas, those massive ones, and then just load the hell out of it. And,
Oh my god,
He
that's a lot of
smoked- that's pretty
burrito.
good.
He smoked his
Double
old
bacon.
double before I was done with like my signal as such a baby boy. Yeah. So shout out Ryan.
What was the little taco place that was in Marshall for a minute? We were gonna do the
Taco
5-pound
Del
taco.
Mar.
Yeah,
We're gonna-
they closed
we're
before we
gonna
could do the 5-pound
Cinco de
burrito.
Mayo challenge. Yeah.
5-pound burrito. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
We were too weak.
No, they closed.
No,
They
they were
closed.
still we had a chance to do it before they closed. We just didn't commit.
Scared
I'm
of
gonna
it.
remember it differently.
It went somewhere.
Revisionist history. My number 4 is actually it was my post workout meal after every high school basketball game. We used to get these like frozen hamburger patties, these quarter-pound box of like 50 of them. And that was back when George Foreman's were the real deal, right? So I would have 4 giant double cheeseburgers with these quarter-pound patties. And that was just like my mom would make them, throw them on a plate, I'd go out and sit on the hot tub. That was like that was
so you
post-game meal.
You ate 4
So
double.
eight quarter-pound patties.
Damn.
Okay.
So those are those bad habits that I was talking about.
pounds.
But at that
2
time,
pounds of burger.
Wow.
at that time, I weighed like $185. So that wouldn't even tip the scale. That was just like homeostasis right there. So
Yeah.
but
So I can't these are cheat meals, so I didn't even think of it this way. If I did an eating challenge, can I include that on here?
I did
Or
include
save that
one.
for did you really?
Yeah, because
We
it was
said
it
epic
was
meals.
technically after a workout. So
God dang it. Because I did two that I didn't even think to put on here, but your burger one got me going.
Yeah,
I'll save
I
that
thought
for another
about
time.
Brauhaus, but I didn't put
You
that
said
one on.
epic meals. So.
Because what you just described was the Brauhaus one.
No, that was just me making that at home. That
You're
was just,
you're insane.
so it wasn't really a cheat meal, but it was like a common post-workout
Go-to.
meal. Yeah.
Just another
Yep.
Tuesday.
Yeah. Ma, the
Yeah,
frozen
double
patties.
double burgers now.
You only made 6.
Preheat the foreman.
All right. God, my list is all screwed up now.
All right. My number 3. This is a cheat meal that I used to do post college, pre kids. My wife used to travel quite a bit for work, so whenever she was out of town, this was like my time to shine. Because there's certain things my wife just doesn't care to eat. So this was one. Whenever my wife was gone, I'd go hit a run up. I'd go to Hornbacher's. I would buy a pack of brats, usually the cheese brats. Bring those home, fire those up. So I would do 4 brats, usually in a pack. So one brat had horseradish, one had honey mustard, one had ketchup, and one had like sauerkraut and whatever else I want to put on it. I combine that then on the side with 3 packs of ramen and cheese, as we've talked about on this show. Just a mound of ramen.
Yes, you've described
Put
this.
the
Sounds
brats
delicious.
around the ramen. That was a cheat meal. I have to imagine that sucker was a couple thousand calories. The ramen alone had 100 times my sodium requirement.
Yeah.
You need that though. You need that.
And plus, I went bun and everything on them brats, so that was a hefty meal. But oh man, it always hit the spot. I couldn't wait because my wife doesn't like brats and she doesn't like ramen. So I would just know, like when she's like, "Yeah, I'm going to be gone for the week." I was like, "Oh, thank God, it's time." Wait.
Well, so delightful little segue. I had to reorganize my list super quickly on these epiphanies.
Let's go to video here.
But I'm moving my number 2 down to number 3 based on some. And so I'm going to segue off of that. In my leaner days, I hit that late 20s, early 30s mode where I just want to get lean again and build on endurance. So I did the Fargo half marathon like 5 years in a row. And as I would prepare for that, like my Saturdays and sometimes a Sunday, I would do an 11 or 12 mile run, in the prep leading up to it. And then following that, like maybe, I don't know about you, Casey, but I was never hungry like right afterwards. Like you have so much blood in your mossel tissue.
Yeah.
It never hits you like right
sick.
away.
Yeah.
So you're just stretching, feel sore and hell. But like an hour to 2 hours later, about the hungriest you're ever going to be. And I had this habit where I treat myself just on those long days I have my protein shake, usually about, whatever brand I was chugging down, 40 grams, 45 grams protein. And then I'd eat an entire large bag of Doritos. In the 2010 and 2011 years, it was black pepper jack, which unfortunately limited time only. I wish they still made it. With a jar of queso. And I looked this one up because this was one
pepper jack cheese dipped in queso.
It's so good. You can't get too much of it.
Yeah, the cheese powder wasn't enough. Huh?
The bag of chips alone, if you eat the whole thing and consume it, is 2,100 calories by itself.
I don't need to know that.
I wouldn't even, and I'd still be hungry
bliss.
afterwards. I'd still be hungry. Like I could still put down more food. And it's like I didn't gain a pound when your body's in endurance mode. Like now, I was probably getting skinny fat, but whatevs. That was my number 3, and I did that multiple times. Just a fun treat yourself meal after putting yourself through some punishment.
Delish. That's fun. I've not historically been a Dorito dipper.
Yeah,
those are good by themselves. I can't say
They are.
dip them in
there, and I
don't think I've ever dipped
all
one.
of it. I wouldn't dip the entire bag.
I'm not
Go,
judging
hey
your
man,
cheat
hold
meal.
your
I'm
ground,
learning.
man. That's a good idea.
No,
Like,
I do
that's
both.
just double
But I'm saying
cheese.
sometimes, no, they're right. Sometimes you just want the natural, like black pepper jack was a dominant flavor, guys. I didn't want to just overlook it, so it wouldn't be like the whole thing.
It wasn't like nacho cheese sauce though. It was like legit
No,
queso.
it was like the old Dutch or whatever, the old whatever jar you buy. And
Yeah.
but I get down to the end of it, and sometimes I'm not ashamed to say this. I take like the bottom fifth of the bag, maybe crunch it up, pour it in there,
Pour it in there and
stir it in,
spoon.
and
Yeah.
just eat it like a awesome.
Why would you
soup.
be offended? Like, yeah, that's just like that's how you finish your bag.
I love you guys. I'm in good company. How's the best way to finish that out?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
To
me?
got David. Yeah.
Yeah.
My number 3 is I'm a big breakfast guy. Love breakfast. Any time of the day kind of thing. But I would do a can of hash, 2 to 3 pancakes, and like 3 to 4 eggs over easy. Just I don't know how much is in a whole can of hash, but I'd eat the whole thing. But it's one of those things where you're when you're taking the Ronnie Coleman vitamins, it's like you can eat. It's just you use it up. So.
I see what you did there.
Yeah,
I love it.
Those are great. Pile it in.
But it just hit the spot though. I mean, hash, pancakes, eggs. Oh, still.
I can go there. I got a little breakfast teaser later on too, man. That's just a good meal whenever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can go with that for sure. My number 3, this was my food challenge piece, and Nick, I'm gonna need your super spot on memory because this was in PT school, and I believe it was Little Italy's, but I think they're closed now. They had a pizza challenge, like after, like, it was kind of our normal routine where it was like, class till 4:30, go home, change, get to the gym by 5, and then one day. Another classmate of mine, Casey, and I were like,
great
hey, they do this 2-foot diameter pizza. And you can sit down.
I never knew this existed. This was
and I looked it up
at Little Italy's in Vermilion
on Cherry Street. Yeah, it was either that or God, I swear there was one other pizza place, but I looked it up and they said it was at the Vermilion Club. And I know it wasn't there. But anyways. So we would have finished that thing too. That was the closest I've ever come to throwing up while eating a pizza. And Casey did. He left the table, and I was like, it was like a $50 pizza, and if you finished it, you got it for free. But if you didn't finish it, you had to pay for it.
I know. I don't know if I know a cheaper guy than you.
So, it's frugal, man.
A more frugal gentleman than Jeremy.
He's gonna start making his own pans.
I am.
Now, did you dip it in their famous Alfamara sauce, which is like they were the geniuses who put together marinara and Alfredo?
The problem was we ordered the
Alfamara, they called it. It was good.
We thought pepperoni was the way to go, and it was like the old style, like cup up. So much grease.
That's a lot of grease.
So much grease. The wrong decision on a pizza challenge. We should have went sausage all the way for sure.
The nice thing about that though, you're usually hitting the bathroom within an hour afterwards.
No, you couldn't get up from the table.
Oh,
because they had to make sure that you're not,
really?
purging yourself. So
yeah, no, I mean finally, like after the fact.
He was like gagging, right? And I'm like berating him. I'm like, don't you throw up? We're finishing this pizza. we failed, but
that's surprising to me, Jeremy.
Yeah, you know what? Hey, it's all about the team, and he failed. I pulled more than my weight there.
Yeah.
So
I wish this was still around. I feel like you and I could make a trip. I think we have it in us.
I think we can do it. We could do it.
As two guys that eat double pizzas all the time.
Yeah,
we've been training.
Yeah. I'll record for the pod.
It's good content.
Do it.
Yeah, my number 2, my next 2, my number 2 and my number 1 are from my marathon days. So you could definitely, like Nick said, usually Saturday was long run day. So I, like Nick, I'd usually run from 8 to noon roughly. Wasn't really a whole lot of hunger after that. For me, I never even got the afternoon hunger really. Yeah,
And no one was chasing you.
Yeah,
The whole
that's
time,
crazy part.
nobody was chasing you.
I like
Chasing
even
myself.
you know when you get done with the race too, and they're shoving you bananas and people are grabbing pizza. I never understood that.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
yeah.
So I don't know if I was maybe training too hard because I felt so shitty every time I had a long run. But this would hit me, but I knew I was going to eventually be hungry. So I always had this in my mind. Sunday morning was going to be Granite City brunch.
Ooh.
And that thing
Fancy.
was
Yeah.
stacked back in the day. They had the thickest bacon, sausage that was like twice the size of your thumb. Eggs Benedict, I'd have about 12 of those things.
Really?
Biscuits and gravy,
Biscuits
prime
and
rib,
gravy, them hash browns to
pasta.
fill in the spaces. The prime rib, I'd have about 8 slices of that. I just keep going, man. That sucker was good.
Yeah.
Oof. I did that about, I mean, we still do it once in a while, but not to that level of going up there about 6-7 times.
Yeah.
And unlimited mimosas if you were into that thing.
Ooh.
I think
recovery
they added
juice.
a burrito bar now too.
Yeah, they're all over the place. They switch it up too
Yeah.
much now. When I was younger, you knew what you were getting. You
just
were
want the
showing up.
classics.
Yeah, I just
Yeah.
wanted the classics done right. And
Yeah.
I feel like it's all the FOMO, as the kids say. You don't want to miss out on what fancy thing they're going to have this month. I like it. But that's my number 2, Granite City brunch. Definitely consumed, I don't know, probably 3,000-4,000 calories there a few times. Mostly biscuits and gravy and bacon.
That is awesome. I'm super torn here. My mind, I'm going to be honest. I didn't do my self research as much as I should have.
Wow, you're usually so good about that.
And as you guys are sharing, like I'm just a flood of memories come up, right? And I'm going to go with so back in the day, Space Aliens of Fargo had a Sunday special when the Vikings were playing. Do you guys know this?
I don't remember the Sunday
as
special.
long
I
as
did
you
the
order
all
beer,
you could eat ribs.
As long as you
Ribs,
order
yeah.
beer, it was all you could eat wings.
Okay.
And my friend, I went there with Luke and Ryan, different Ryan, and we watched the Vikings play the Chicago Bears. And it wasn't the first time we'd done this. So in preparation, I had hit the gym pretty hard, good, solid. I mean, back then too, it was like not uncommon to do like a 90-minute, 2-hour workout. Be in a good caloric deficit, and then it's like we're just gonna belly up, watch this entire game, and eat. And that we did. And I ate so damn many wings, drank so much beer, and probably a lot of ranch and blue cheese dressing along with it. Where by the time the Vikings game was done, I couldn't drive because I was so full. And Michelle gave us all a ride back to my apartment. And I laid on the floor of my apartment, not on the couch, just on the floor, for like a day and a half. I didn't even want to move while my body tried to digest all this chicken meat that I'd consumed over 3.5 hours.
That is the worst when you're just sprawled out. You can't like lie on your back. Can't lie on your stomach.
You just gotta move. You like change position. You're like, maybe this will help it digest. I don't know.
You have to move around your stomach.
Yeah. I don't think I peed for like 9 hours. Like so much sodium's in your body. It's like, no, we're gonna hold on to this.
Fight and flight mode now.
So as we're talking, I'm just like, when was I the most absolutely uncomfortable from how much I ate? And that sticks out to me to this day. So the Vikes lost the game, by the way, to the Bears. So Rex Grossman was the quarterback.
Gross. And you were just a gross man. So that's good.
I was a very gross man.
Serendipitous.
My friend, we had so much fun that particular day. My friend Luke, who is like a big he's like a 6'4" pound, 300-pound guy. He almost got us thrown out midway through because he wasn't getting the service that he demanded, and
he was
needed more ranch cups. And he went over, he reached around the bar when the bartender wasn't there. Reached around the bar, helped himself to a brandy snifter, and filled it up with ranch dressing so he could dip his wings out of it. And when the bartender came back, he did not find it as funny as we all did.
Yeah.
And gave us a stern warning.
Yeah, it's not often you get kicked out of Space Aliens.
that little bar area was so good to watch games in. Had a little projector screen, which was really cool back then.
Yeah, we did a lot of all you could eat ribs at that place. I think that was like
Mhm.
Thursdays. Get them fries with a little nacho cheese dipping sauce,
Mhm.
It's a good one. It's good.
spicy ranch.
Oh,
Great one.
yeah.
All right,
Right.
David.
Right. King House.
Ah, it's back, baby.
Let's
It's back.
go. Let's
I mean,
go.
We had some
The
overlap.
sesame chicken, the general, I mean, like everything else you mentioned. And it's probably one of the bigger Chinese buffets in town when it was around.
I would think so.
Yeah.
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 I mean, because I know a few other ones, they either had the general's chicken or sesame. It was like one or the other usually. And they had both.
Generals is
Oh, so good.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's
They had
good.
some hits there.
I mean,
then
we
for-
went through college, we went there so many times. It was just like the go-to. I mean,
Yeah, and then for the
You're
sake
hungry.
of health, you could do beef and broccoli. Because you're like, if I eat this chunk of broccoli, I'm kind of healthy, right?
And you put it on your plate, but you didn't eat it.
or you could get the
It's like a
strawberry
garnish.
just pull the
bananas.
broccoli to the side.
Yeah. It's like a garnish on there.
Yeah, I was pretty sad when that one closed, though. I did not see that coming.
Man, that's kind of sad. That place was so popular back in the day. Everybody liked going down there.
Yeah. They started the
Yeah.
trend. You go milk when you were there? I can't remember.
No,
Damn
I
it.
didn't. I probably went with whatever fountain Coke or whatever it was, probably.
Oh, I think there's still one in town that has milk. What a treat. What a treat. Bags of
That's
milk, of
so
course.
terrible.
It's
That's
just
an
a
awful
waste.
idea,
It's
Casey.
just a waste.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
you're doing buffets wrong, man.
No.
But I do remember the milk in those big coolers, though, with the big.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, that is
yeah.
the coldest milk.
Snip
you
the
can
tail off. Yeah, it's so
Yeah.
good.
Casey, just go to a continental breakfast at a hotel.
Ah, then you're
Out of
getting it
there.
out of a little carton. It tastes like cardboard. There's nothing better than milk out of a bag.
That is true.
Ice cold.
I wish I had one at my house.
Agreed.
It is cold that way. You're right.
It's the
I've
best
been,
milk you're
I've
ever
been
going to
to some
have.
continental breakfasts where they serve it that way. They
Okay.
have the bag. Yeah.
Should start a blog.
Which I'll have to do my
All
research
about
better,
milk.
and I will send you the information.
Yeah, thank you.
All about milk.
Right. Jeremy,
so,
you're number 2.
My number 2. This actually started not as a cheat meal, but I used it as a cheat meal later on. So my buddy, I think you met him, Matt Beeler. He did some shadowing at the clinic. We actually applied to PT school together.
Yeah. Where's he at?
He ended up going to Ohio State, and I believe he has his master's in exercise phys, and he's a professor in Nebraska right now. So
He was a
doing
solid
very
dude.
he is super
thick
intelligent
boy. He was
dude.
part of the thick boy club with us. Yeah.
Yeah, I like
It's a good
you know,
club.
you always talk like if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. So
Yeah.
like I feel like I've always done a good job that way of like if you're the strongest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. So like I've always like anybody I've ever had as far as like a workout partner always just could smash me as far as weight. So I was always chasing them. So it was a good thing for me personally. But anyways, so we went and stayed down at his parents' place the night before USD interviews for PT school.
Oh, yeah.
And his dad the next morning made Beeler McMuffins. And these things were 2 English muffins slathered on both sides with peanut butter, 2 frozen sausage patties, 4 eggs.
Oh,
That was a sandwich. We did 2 of those before we went and interviewed.
oh.
So that like still throughout PT school, like he would come down every once in a while, like and we'd get some lifts in over a weekend, and then like we'd hit that up at least one time, and we like just crushing them. So I don't
Yeah.
even want to know. Like you said, I don't want to know what the calories are in it. I just want to live in just like tasteful happiness that it was just
Yeah.
a good meal. So yeah,
Man,
that's my number 2.
that's impressive. The day you interviewed, that's just a dumb decision, but I'm impressed.
Why?
Nice and full. Mm.
No,
Yeah,
you're too
full,
full.
happy.
All their blood.
Your brain
you know what I mean?
had so
Blood
much
in your brain.
glucose.
Oh man, I was
I don't
fine.
see
Like it was like a beautiful mind. Like there's
But I
things
But I know
like
you.
coming
I know
out.
your ass though. You had a whole pot of coffee to go with it too. All right, that's
You know what? Actually, at that time, like I didn't start drinking coffee until PT school either. And then it was like 2 pots a day.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's a lot of
Mm.
coffee.
You
That's
are
some Paul,
physic.
that's some Paul
so it's
Stensland coffee there.
Yeah. Holy moly.
Yeah.
Stick a spoon in it.
It's
Yeah,
forgiven.
great value. It was
Yeah. Oh,
balling
that
on a
sounds
budget.
delicious, Jeremy.
Bill Folgers.
All right, my
Well-
number one. Again, back in running days, I misspoke earlier. I was not marathon training at this time, but I was in grad school in Bismarck. Had no money, had no time to do anything. So, like my day, I get up, I ran for 10 miles every day before work. Over lunch, I would go back to the gym. The gym's attached to the hospital in Bismarck. So over lunch, I would run there. I'd bike for about half an hour, and I would have a can of Mountain Dew for my brain. I knew I needed some glucose.
Yeah.
And then after work, I'd go lift weights for like an hour and a half, and then hit the sauna for half an hour. And then I'd go home and have ramen. So that was like Monday through Friday. So I always knew Saturday again was going to be a long run. I'd usually do like a 15, 17 miler on Saturday. And then it was done. You guys called it, man. KFC buffet was my cheat meal on that
Oh,
sucker.
really?
Yep.
Oh,
It was
wow.
pretty cheap. I think it was like $7.99 at that
$6.99,
time
yeah.
or something.
Yeah.
So I could afford it. And yeah, it was the mashed potatoes, throw the chicken on there. I'd get extra crispy. You take the skin off the extra crispy, you fill it with mashed potatoes, make that into like a mashed potato sandwich. Dip it in the gravy. Oh, so good.
But you're going to eat the skin at some point, though, right? Tell me you're eating the skin.
Yeah, it's got the mashed potatoes in it, and then
Yeah.
you dip that whole
Oh,
thing
okay.
in the gravy.
And the gravy.
Gotcha. I was concerned you're just disregarding the skin.
No,
Just making
no,
a sandwich.
no.
Okay.
No, I
Thank
thought
you.
the extra crispy skin was better with the mashed potatoes and gravy than with the chicken. The chicken was fine on its own. It didn't need the skin.
No, that's not true. Not the extra tasty crispy.
Yeah, it's good chicken. You don't need that crispy skin when you could be mashing it in with the mashed potatoes and gravy. Yeah, and I was not a barbecue guy. I thought that was the grossest chicken on the buffet, if I'm going to be honest.
I agree. I was not a barbecue.
I would
fan
too.
either.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
that
guys,
was
it wasn't
disgusting.
that bad. It absorbed the extra tasty crispy absorbed so much of the barbecue sauce. It just,
Oh, maybe I should have been combining them more.
it was
Do you-
yeah, just
Do
it
you
mixed
remember
up
the
the
little
palate
parfaits
too.
they had too?
I don't know. It was like
little-
that barbecue
Cleanse
chicken
it with
would
milk.
it'd get there it was like so sticky, sickly, crusty on the outside after it was sitting there for a while.
Oh, you eat with a
I wasn't-
fork. You eat it with a fork. You're fancy.
I don't know. Anyways, I agree with everything but the barbecue chicken on the KFC buffet. Delicious. And
Right.
they had the salad bar, so you fill up like a whole bowl of ranch the whole time you're there. I mean, that's
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
it's all going in there. Wedges,
Yeah.
chicken. Delicious.
Yeah.
So I'd house that every Saturday. That was the only meal I pretty much ate all week long.
Gotcha. No, they dominated. I think that was down Worthington was the only time I ever hit one up, but man, it was good.
Bismarck had a killer one.
I think they
Alright.
closed the buffet finally in Bismarck.
Son of a gun.
Wow.
Makes you sad.
breed. Dying breed.
Summoner.
Mm.
Well, I feel like I know we did away with honorable mentions a long time ago, but with the reshuffling, I'm going to do a quick shout out to the Devil's Lake Seafood Buffet at the casino.
Like and follow.
Oh,
Me and all the guys on the wrestling team my senior year, we went up there. Coaches took us out for like the end of the year. We'll go take you guys out, eat some seafood, and we ate so much. Like we had a crab leg eating contest and everything. That was just a blast. It was originally on here, but it had to be moved out for my number one. Jeremy, you gave me the reminder of a food eating contest, but it wasn't the Austin Burger at Brow Brothers. In
did that one, too.
2011, I had the distinction of making the finals of their wing eating contest, and you had to qualify. There was a qualifier.
Oh wow.
And I was primed for this bad boy. I had this thing down to a T in an art form all together. Worked all day, squeezed in about a 6 or 7 mile run with a lot of like push-ups and squats. Just wanted to burn a lot of calories. And then Lucan is like what, 20 miles, 25 miles from Marshall. So
Yep.
by the time I cleaned up, showered, Shell, and would have been Connor, Maddie, really young, we drove out there, and everybody from Big Stone Marshall at the time was there to support me. It was kind of a funny thing. When we look back at pictures, it's really hilarious. Ashley was there. She took a bunch of pictures. It's funny. Sadly, guys, I took second.
What?
I ate 61 wings
Ooh.
and in 10 minutes. And
Oh.
this guy
That's
named
pretty
Dan
good.
ate 63.
Oh,
And if you ask Michelle to this day, she hates that contest because she was walking around like watching to see who was closest to me. And she's like, he wasn't eating shit. He was like taking a bite and like discarding and that. And I'm sitting there like nibbling off, like trying to clean them off because they were
That's
warning
on
us.
you,
They're-
man. That's technique.
They're telling me you got to clean the bone. Yeah, you know what that's about. So
Wow.
I eat 61.
Gentle
I
jab.
take
Gentle
I
jab.
take second place. I still got like a sweatshirt, got a gift card, all that great stuff. On the way home, I pulled over and threw up my freaking guts out. I like
Yes.
it was they did barbecue flavor because they had to go with the sauce that like they went honey barbecue. It
You
wasn't-
were
it
ready
wasn't
from
spicy.
KFC at that point.
Ugh.
This is my favorite chicken.
And you know the funny thing was they would bring them out to you in orders of like 25 at a time. So I had there, and then the other thing was like whatever, like so I had 75 total brought out to me at different increment 25, 25, 25. And they're like, you just take the rest home with you, right? And they didn't
Just
get
what you want.
touched. Like I didn't want to touch
Just
it.
throw them out the
Out the
window.
window.
I eat 61.
Ah!
I'm like hell, I'm gonna eat these 14 wings. Oh my god, I couldn't touch honey barbecue sauce in like 2 years. It was so bad, but that was the fattest and sickest I ever got. I wish I would have weighed myself before and after too, because I was just miserable. If I took first, that probably would have been more easily digestible mentally and physically. That's my number one.
Did you rinse that down with a nice milk?
No, I was drinking. I think it was like Michelob Ultra back then,
Okay.
because if you ran, you were like an ultra guy.
Yeah, all right. Cut your 5 calories difference or whatever.
Hashtag health. All right, that's my number one.
Yeah,
Great number one.
you bringing up the casino buffet for seafood. We definitely hit that up.
Yeah, you guys were close. I think you guys lived
Yeah.
closer than we did. Yeah.
Yeah, we Casey, do you remember when we went? I want to say it was Matt was with us, and he took some crab legs with him to Walmart.
And I'm out the sleeve.
Yes, she had the crab.
Yeah.
Oh, like a joke. Okay.
Yeah.
So he's walking around Walmart like touching things.
Oh, I was laughing because I'm
Give me
picturing
that.
this dude like cracking open crab legs in Walmart. Like,
Oh no, he's walking around with them in his hands and arms. And,
I can see
It
that.
is a silly thing.
yeah, but yeah, we traveling for buffets. Like were you with when we went to the Jamestown Chinese buffet? Because this was before Devil's Lake had one.
Oh yeah, that was a hit, man. We went to
That
that
was
one
a good one.
There was two in
Mhm.
Jamestown. One
Yeah,
by the
Up on the
Walmart
hill.
By the mall.
area.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and then the other one by the mall. Those
Yeah.
are two good ones. Both delicious.
Yeah. So I was split on one as well though. Who remembers Ponderosa?
Oh, yeah.
Formerly Bonanza.
Yes.
We hit the Pondo many times.
When you could order a steak and then get the buffet as well and all that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was huge. And it was like what?
This is your number one?
That was a runner up. I was split.
right.
I was very
Yeah.
split.
Oh, okay.
So, but yeah, I was very split on that. But right now my big meal is after lifting, and I probably get it like twice a week, probably. Like, so I'm living a cheap meal life right now.
You are living that cheat life.
Same.
Is Texas Roadhouse prime rib, 16-ounce, medium rare. You get 2 sides, the rice, mashed potatoes, and probably
too
about two
healthy.
to 3 buns there.
Eat the peanuts off the floor.
I honestly, they don't even give us the peanuts anymore.
Sir, you've had too many peanuts.
But you can also get a side
Cut
of ribs
him
with
off.
that. Side of ribs or some Little
I like
shrimpy.
that. A 16-ounce prime rib and a side of normal ribs, please.
Mm-hmm. I don't even know what the calories on it, but I mean, after squats or deadlifts, it's one of those go-to meals for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
lots of protein.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The old 96er.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Gotta eat the gristle.
Staying on the protein train here. This was not really a cheat meal. It's just like, again, part of my cheat life. But this is one of the most epic meals I've ever eaten. We got a gift card to go to Fogo de Chao in Minneapolis. If you ain't ever been, go. My goodness, it is worth it. So it's this like kind of, you've never seen. I take it back. This is a
Brazilian
buffet.
barbecue.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is a buffet, right? But you
No,
have
Fogo de
never
Chao would
seen.
be. You're talking about Fogo
Yeah.
de Chao, right?
Yeah.
So they
it's-
bring it
it's-
to you. It's like you
yeah.
have your
So it's
disc.
technically a buffet. Yeah.
Have you guys ever been to a Brazilian grill?
Mhm.
Steakhouse, yeah.
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 Yeah,
So they
delicious.
just walk by and the gauchos carve you off as
What
much
would you
meat as
like?
you
Would
want.
you like some filet mignon? Yeah.
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 Would you like a ribeye? Yeah.
Yeah.
God,
Would you
that's a
like
good
lamb chops?
choice.
Yeah. Spicy sausage? Yep.
Yeah.
And then at the salad bar, it was
So
like
good.
smoked salmon. I went through the salad bar once and I'm like, God, this was great. But I'm like, I had at no point during the meal, like there's like a pile of meat on my, because I'm like, I'm keeping this disc on green for sure.
Right. You never
Yeah.
flip
Like
that sucker.
I'm not gonna miss anything that's coming around. So yeah, that would have probably been a day I almost threw up too. But you talk about a buffet, the dichotomy of people in that joint. Like you have people that are in flip-flops and hoodies and khaki shorts, and then you look over and you're like, that's probably a $2,000 or $3,000 suit. It's just dining together, communing over a Brazilian steakhouse.
So good.
Delicious. So that's my number one.
It's a great choice. We always do the
Great choice.
Brazilian steakhouse down in Frisco. Delicious, man. Like the cheese infused steak where it's like oozing out of it as they're cutting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We didn't. It was less of a cheat day. We went out with Michelle's sister and husband, Stephanie and Andy, like 5 years ago when we were in Fort Collins, and I ate so damn much. It was our final night there. Like I don't think I ate the entire next day when we traveled. Like I was so much protein still in my body, so much red meat just digesting away. I had zero appetite for like probably 36 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Sorry
wish
to
I
all our
had
vegan followers.
been to a place like that in my younger days.
They can go around. The gauchos can slice off pea pods and broccoli sticks for them. Here you go.
It's not the same. It's not the same.
So
That's
who
their
remembers the
choice.
royal fork?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
well,
my
there.
god.
get that ham.
Uh-huh.
But
That's where we-
like Jeremy's Fogo. There's no dichotomy of people there.
No, that's
No.
just pure class at the
There-
Royal Fork.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
there's a certain person that goes to the Royal Fork.
Yeah.
How sad to
Our
see- how
basketball
sad.
team, we went up there when we played NDSU, we would go to the Royal Fork.
Royal Fork, yeah.
Team meal. That was a pretty good
That
one.
part was
actually,
so
by our
classic.
standards.
My parents would take us there now as kids, and
Yeah,
was
and then the
like,
one in the
ooh.
mall in Grand Forks, the
Yeah,
fancy.
that was probably the best one. Or the
We ate
Minot
at that one
was
too.
good.
Yep.
do
You
you guys
get a
ever
nice
go to the
sweet
old?
roll.
Ever been to the Metro and hit up like the Old Country buffet?
Yeah.
Old Country buffet. That was really good too. They had
OCB?
shrimp there. Like, all
OCB.
you- Yeah,
Yeah.
the OCB.
Yeah.
We hit that up one time after a Vikes game on the way back to Fargo, and yeah, one of my buddies, he ate so damn much he like passed out, couldn't make it out of Maple Grove.
He was full.
He was full.
Yeah, too much food.
Way too
Yeah.
much food.
It is interesting when you talk
he gave
cheat
me this-
meals, though. Go on, Nick.
He gave me this quote that lives in infamy with us still to this day. He said, I'm quoting him here. I ate so much shrimp, my shit's gonna have veins. So
Eeh. Supposed to devein those.
Yes.
Yeah.
it sure made a lot of sense at the time.
Yeah, I get it.
Because he was full. Yes.
Do you
Yeah,
remember
but-
the
Casey,
Casey, the one that we used to do in Grand Forks, across from Simplot?
Oh yeah. That
We
buffet
went
was
to that.
delicious.
All the time.
You got that nice Simplot smell when you left,
Little
which
fries,
really,
yeah.
really helped the
Stim-
nausea.
what's this place?
There was a Chinese buffet across the street from Simplot in Grand Forks, is like the French fry making plant in Grand
Yeah.
Forks, and it always
Oh.
smells like rotten potatoes, which if you've ever smelled rotten potatoes,
Yeah,
it's
awful.
one of the worst smells
Yeah.
of all.
Literally across the street from the restaurant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A poor location for sure.
Plain
Oh, yeah.
GF also, if you really want to label like the poor man's king, you go to Valentino's. If you like pasta.
Yeah, Italian Moon in Grand Forks was another
Yeah.
nice buffet.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, you get a lot of pasta. A lot
You
of
get a lot of pasta.
so many buffets. Oh yeah,
Oh.
great American steak. Hammered a lot of steaks out there.
Yeah.
That one,
That was a sad one to see close
that one
too.
came
Get
and
some
went
chicken.
on. You talking about the one on University?
Yeah,
Yep.
that was a
That
hit
came
too.
and went too.
It's
Ah,
nice to
so
watch
much
them make their
food.
steak for you. Yeah, so good. Now I got to go to bed. I have some food dreams. So yeah, that concludes episode 52 of PT Shop Talk. Like always, check us out
you,
Facebook.
Dave.
Hit us up on YouTube. Hit us up at ptshoptalk@gmail.com with any hate mail you want to send our way. And yeah, special shout out, Dave. Love having you on, bud. Really proud of you. Cool stuff you're doing, not just personally, but for the professional powerlifting. So
Definitely.
yeah, we talked
Well,
about
thank you.
before, but when people want to get into powerlifting, like especially North Dakota, South Dakota folks, I mean, how do they get going? What advice do you give them somewhere to start?
Honestly, I mean, it's one of those things. Like I said, you can do it anywhere. Your home gym, squat, bench, deadlift. I mean, if you're interested in it, just sign up, do it. You'll be
Yeah.
surprised. It's one of those things where you do it, you'll get hooked.
You got like a website people go to sign up for this stuff? See the events coming up?
Since
Or
we're
you're
in the
kinda
middle
in
of
limbo
a
now?
transition, but ND Powerlifting Gmail. So pretty simple.
Perfect.
And
Yeah.
so
Yeah, if this
Mhm.
has inspired anybody to pick up things and put them back down,
there
hit 'em
you
up.
go.
Do it.
Or get some jorts.
Some
Mm.
jorts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you ever need recommendations? I know a guy. So
Awesome. Good
all right,
luck,
and-
man. Go get
yeah.
it.
Yeah,
We'll
we'll
make
be
the
watching.
great state of Nodak proud.
We'll make
Oh,
sure we
yeah,
update the listeners.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely I'll be posting whenever. Let you guys know how things go. So
Yeah, and just as far as like live updates on the Arnold and stuff, I mean, they keep that stuff on their website too. I mean, if people want to check it out, see how you're doing.
they get really fickle about live streaming certain things.
Okay.
Yeah, because I remember the one year that they let us do it, and then but that was during the COVID year, so they allowed everyone to do it. But
Oh.
I know like the bodybuilding, the strongman, they did try and do it all as like a pay-per-view kind of thing. So
Gotcha. Yeah.
Okay.
they want their money. So
Mhm.
Can't blame them.
yeah. But other than that, though, I mean, just locally, I mean, like Katie will be there. She'll be, filming, helping me out and stuff. So
Awesome.
All right. Perfect. We're cheering you on. All right. Until next time, everybody, I'm Casey Hansen. With me as always, Nick Doling, Jeremy Van Klompenberg.